Hey guys, WWE Elimination Chamber 2018 went down tonight, so in this video I will recap it. It was a long show, close to 4.5 hours if you factor in the kickoff show and the amount of time it went over by. So let's hop right into it. First match was on the kickoff show, the club taking on the Miztourage, Gallows Anderson versus Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Okay match, nothing too special. Had some cool spots, some good action just there to get the crowd warmed up a little bit. And in the end, the club got the win over the Miztourage. It was interesting to note, however, that the Revival was watching this match and critiqued it at the very end, so they could be trying to plant the seed for a future rivalry between the club and the Revival, or perhaps the Miztourage and the Revival, or it could just be a way to get the Revival some airtime, and they might continue this rivalry between the club and the Miztourage, with factoring in Finn Balor and The Miz as well. That remains to be seen. The first match on the main card, though, was the Women's Elimination Chamber match for the Raw Women's title. It was Alexa Bliss defending her title against Bayley, Sasha Banks, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and Mickie James. This was a good match, fun match to watch, great way to start the show in my opinion. Some cool spots here. Mickie James taking a big splash off the top of the pod, and then you got Alexa Bliss doing a twisted bliss off the top of the pod. It furthered the story between Sasha Banks and Bayley, continued their future rivalry, their impending breakup was on full display here, and Bayley ended up being eliminated before Sasha Banks, but it didn't really matter because Alexa Bliss ended up eliminating Sasha Banks to retain the Raw Women's title, and she cut a promo at the very end that kind of sounded like she was turning face, but then quick snapback to reality, she's still a full-blown heel. And yeah, so fun match, great match, really kind of put Bliss on the map. This was like her first big win in the historic Women's Revolution match for WWE, so I was happy to see Bliss get the win. And she will be heading to WrestleMania, for now at least, as Raw Women's Champion. The next match was the Raw Tag Team title match, The Bar taking on Titus Worldwide. So Sheamus and Cesaro defending their belts against Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil. Okay match, nothing too special. We've certainly seen better Raw Tag Team Championship matches in the past, and this match did not live up to those expectations, but it was passable. For the main part, The Bar dominated the match over Crews and Titus, and in the end, they ended up retaining the titles over Crews and Titus. I think Crews ate the fall after Cesaro pinned him after a double team with him and Sheamus. So I do not see this rivalry continuing between Titus Worldwide and The Bar. I think it was just a way to add a match to the Elimination Chamber card and to make it a title match as well. I would think that The Bar is going to feud with somebody else, possibly the Revival. I'd like to see that if the Revival doesn't end up feuding with the Miztourage and the club. But for tonight, Cesaro, Sheamus, still your Raw Tag Team Champions. The next match was Asuka taking on Nia Jax. The stipulation was if Nia Jax beat Asuka, she would be added to the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania, making it a triple threat. Jax dominated this match from the early get-go up into close to the end when Asuka mounted a comeback and ended up stealing the win with a roll-up. So her undefeated streak remains intact. But Nia Jax still looked like a beast. As I said, she dominated the match, and then after the match, she drove Asuka through a barricade. So Nia Jax still could be added to the match at WrestleMania, but as of now, it looks like it's going to be Alexa Bliss taking on Asuka if Asuka is able to make it to WrestleMania. As I said, she did get speared through a barricade by Nia Jax after the bout. The next match, it was Matt Hardy taking on Bray Wyatt in a battle of two of WWE's most strangest wrestlers on the roster. Started out pretty weird, so Matt Hardy makes his entrance to the ring. The little Wyatt video package interruption thing goes off again. Wyatt's in the ring, but Hardy's nowhere to be seen. Ends up mocking him over the PA system, and then he just kind of randomly appeared behind Wyatt and attacked him. And yeah, they had the match. It was okay. The crowd didn't really seem into it. They were more fascinated by a beach ball that was being bopped around the crowd, and it looked like, I think they were doing the wave. Wyatt and Matt Hardy tried to play the crowd reaction as best they could into the match, but unfortunately they just didn't really seem into it. And in the end, Matt Hardy got the win over Bray Wyatt. I do think this rivalry is going to continue. I really don't know what else they can do with these two at the moment. at least until Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy comes back. So I would expect this feud to continue between Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, but Matt Hardy definitely has momentum in his corner after he picked up the win tonight. After that, it was the contract signing. Ronda Rousey signing her WWE contract. Now, I didn't know how this was going to play out because contract signing is never just a straight-up contract signing in WWE. So I didn't know if Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan were going to come and make a last-minute push to try and get Rousey to sign with the Blue brand. That did not happen, though. It was Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon in the ring. Rousey was kind of giving a little speech or cutting a little promo on how much it meant to her to finally be signed with WWE. The crowd was cheering for her. And then Kurt Angle was kind of spilling the beans on how Triple H and Stephanie were using this as a way to get back at Rousey for what her and The Rock did to them at WrestleMania 31. So to conclude, Angle spilling the beans. Triple H tries to get him out of the ring. They're walking up the ramp. Rousey ends up hearing more of what Angle has to say because Angle still has a mic in his hand. So she confronts Stephanie and Triple H, ends up slamming Triple H through a table. Stephanie ends up slapping Rousey in the face before getting out of the ring, and then Rousey just signs the contract and stares at Stephanie. So Rousey is now officially, she was already officially a member of WWE, but for TV purposes, she is now on the WWE roster. And it looks like WWE is going to be building up a Rousey Angle versus Triple H, Stephanie McMahon feud for WrestleMania. I think that's a good idea because Rousey, I have no idea how far along in the ring she is, and you don't want her to be a total bust on WrestleMania. So partnering her with a Hall of Famer, one of the best athletes ever to grace a WWE ring, Kurt Angle, also taking on Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, two ring veterans. That's a good idea for Rousey to get her feet wet on a global stage, especially with someone as much popularity as she has. So, as I said, Rousey signs the WWE contract, and a Angle Rousey Triple H McMahon feud appears to be on the horizon. After that, it was the Elimination Chamber match to see who would be the #1 contender for Brock Lesnar's Universal title at WrestleMania 34. It was Roman Reigns taking on John Cena, Elias, Miz, Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, and Seth Rollins. This was another good match. Really cool, a lot of cool spots here. Strowman looked like an absolute monster. Eliminated 5 out of the 7 competitors. Rollins had a frog splash on top of a pod onto Strowman. Everybody was trying to team up and take out Strowman. Didn't really work out for them. As I said, Strowman eliminated everybody except the winner, and that winner was, as everybody expected, Roman Reigns. Everybody knew the writing was on the wall for this. So Roman Reigns, as expected, wins the Elimination Chamber match. Will go on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. After the match, Strowman did beat up on Roman Reigns, power slammed him twice, and threw him through one of the pods. So there will that lingering question of what is Strowman going to end up in the main event. That is still in the air. I doubt it though. I really do not believe Strowman's going to be in the main event. I think it's going to be a WrestleMania 31 rematch between the Beast and the Big Dog. I wrote a post about this a couple weeks ago. I tweeted this the night of WrestleMania 33 when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker. I tweeted that I predict it's going to be Lesnar versus Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 34. Still shaping up like that, especially now that Reigns has a match against Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. So barring a Strowman addition to that match, looks like that prediction is going to come true. And yeah, that's all I got for you. No Dean Ambrose appearance. They were in Vegas, where my boy Dean Ambrose lives. So I was hoping he might make a surprise return, possibly cost Rollins his Elimination Chambers match spot or whatever. That did not happen. So no Dean Ambrose appearance, despite my shirt I was wearing, hoping he'd be there. And yeah, it looks like WrestleMania 34 getting set up. After that, we got Fastlane. After tonight, anyway, we got Fastlane, and then it's WrestleMania 34. So only 6 weeks, I believe, till the Showcase of the Immortals goes down in New Orleans, Louisiana. Can't wait for that, and that's all I got for you. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Give me a follow on Twitter at Cincy Fan Zone. Check out my website, cincyfanzone.blogspot.com. Links to those are in the description below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.